So welcome everyone, living bodies in here, few people, and some of you that are connected online. Welcome to the beginning of the Erasmus Days. And as you have seen in the email and the program, today we will basically start by describing some of the details of the opportunities that you have for mobility abroad. And we also like to welcome those of you that are coming from abroad to visit Pavia. I see some people clapping hands. We're glad to have you here, right? Because for us it's also important to have different cultures represented, and so that we can learn from you. So without further ado, I will introduce my colleague that will take the stage and start introducing to you all the opportunities that are available at our institution. Thank you.
Okay, now it works. Thank you, Professor. Let's see here in the chat. Okay, everything works. So my name is Marco Oliva, and I work for the International Relations Office. First of all, I want to thank all the participants here in presence with us. Thank you a lot. It's always nice to have some real connection and see faces in front of us, not only through a monitor. Thank you to all the participants that are connected online via Zoom. I can see there are a considerable number of them. Today it's an important day for us because it's the Erasmus Days. Sorry. Okay. The Erasmus Days are 3 days that are meant to celebrate Erasmus, the Erasmus culture. And they are happening for 5 years. This is the 5th edition of the Erasmus Days. So all over Europe, there are a bunch of events, initiatives, and meetings in order to celebrate the culture of Erasmus. And we took this occasion today to explain and to tell us about all the opportunities that we have here in University of Pavia to spend a period of time abroad. And so I'm gonna start my presentation with introducing all the opportunities. So I guess that all of you knows the Erasmus program. It's very famous. It's been more than 30 years that is on the field. So many students have traveled abroad. Many students have had the opportunity to grow, to improve themselves going around in Europe, but not only in Europe. Here as Università di Pavia, we offer several opportunities. The most famous one probably is the Erasmus for Study. Then we have the Erasmus for Trainership, the Coimbra Group, Overseas Exchange Program, and then we have 2 separate initiatives, which are the double degrees and AC2U and the Erasmus Mundus joint master degree. I'm going to deepen in each one of them soon, but first of all, I want to tell you that there is a single procedure to apply. So it's going to be very easy for all of those that I've listed. There is one single procedure, which is made up of the following steps. So the first thing that I recommend you, as I always say to all my students, is to read the call for application, because it's a very important and crucial step in order to reach a successful application. The second one is to verify the participation requirements. Each one of these calls has specific requirements, so you need to take care, read carefully, and see whether you meet them or not. And the third part, which I'm particularly proud of, here in Università di Pavia, all the applications are made online. So very easy for you. You can do it remotely from your room, from your desk, and in a very efficient way. Some of the exchanges, mobility program that I've mentioned require a language test, a language certification. We will get deeper into this topic as well later. And some of them require an interview. Let me move to the most important one, the most famous actually, the Erasmus Plus for study. So, okay, I'm going to remove the mask because here I'm alone at the desk. I'm much more comfortable. Erasmus for study. Erasmus for study is the most famous one. What it is, basically you can go abroad and take some courses and relative exams and or a research activity for your final thesis, and obtain the full recognition of everything you did abroad. This is a very important step. Why? Before the mobility itself, you will be required to fill in a learning agreement. In the learning agreement, there is the list of all the exams that you are planning to take abroad. So in case of success, if you pass all those exams abroad, you already know that all those ECTS will be already in your career here in Pavia. This is very important. You are guaranteed that everything you going to do abroad is already in your career. So you won't have to take those ECTS back in Pavia. Full recognition, fundamental point. As for the length, the minimum is 2 months, the maximum is 12. Usually we like to divide this kind of experience into parts, 1 semester or full year or second semester. So you can choose whether to be abroad for 1 semester and take all the exams that are taught in the host university, or stay abroad, stay away for the entire academic year. Where? Well, Erasmus study once used to be limited only to Europe. Now it's changing, the program is changing, it's evolving. And what we have, so still all the Erasmus countries, plus Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, former Republic of Macedonia, UK, which is not anymore in Europe, Serbia and Switzerland with a dedicated program. And then we have some extra EU opportunities. In particular, we have Israel, Lebanon, Morocco, Myanmar, Palestine, Russia, and Vietnam. So you can choose these destinations according to what you study. This is why it's very important to read the call for application. There you will find everything listed in relation to the faculty you are enrolled at. Who can go abroad? Well, basically all the students who are regularly enrolled at the university can have the possibility to go abroad and spend a period of mobility in another country, at another university, in another country. So we have students of first and second cycle, so bachelor and master degree students, PhD and doctoral, but also first and second level master students, and the one that are enrolled in specialization schools. The key is that you need to be enrolled in the moment of application. This is fundamental. Let's talk about some other details related to Erasmus Plus for study. So how we do it? Well, there is, as I mentioned before, there is an online application. And so it's very easy for all of you to apply. Which are the selections? Well, the selection is based on some important data. Academic results, if you're enrolled at the second plus year of the university. Motivation, which will be described through a letter or through an interview. And then the language level. We mentioned the language level because some destinations require a specific language level, so a certification, in order to be accepted at the host university. The last step is the easiest, so assignment of the destination. Talking about the scholarship, which I know is a very important part for students, because you have to live abroad, so it's important. Well, actually, the Erasmus program is currently funding for 250, 350 per month in relation to the destination. Very probably in the next edition of Erasmus, this amount will increase, but we still don't know exactly how much. And for this specific program, which is the ECM, which is International Credit Mobility, which is basically the Erasmus to take abroad out of Europe, so non-EU countries, the amount of money is higher. So we pay 700 per month plus the travel cost. In addition to that, Università di Pavia, according to the financial situation of each student, is going to add a top-up amount every month in order to make the experience easier for you and more enjoyable. So when are the applications? Well, we usually do two periods of application. The one is in February with the selection in April, and the second one is June with the selection in September. There is a key difference. If you apply in February, you will be allowed to start your period abroad in the first semester for one semester or the entire academic year. If you apply in the second call, the one of June, you will be allowed to spend only the second semester abroad. So this is important. A very crucial key point of the programs to study abroad is the timing. You have to plan carefully when to apply and find the best moment to suit your career, your plans, and etc. Let's move to Erasmus Plus for traineeship. Well, the traineeship is maybe less known compared to study, but it's also very important. It allows you to spend a period abroad in different kind of institutions, which can be an enterprise, a university, public or private institution, in order to spend and to grow your experience in doing some kind of activities related to the job, so to your future work, so an experience on the field. This is very important because it can be both done during your studies, so in your bachelor, in your master degree course, or after it, after the graduation. Another important thing is that some courses include, some faculties include the traineeship or internship, as you want to call, as mandatory. The Erasmus Plus for traineeship allows you to do this part, so to acquire the mandatory ECTS included in your course abroad. So everything will be recognized, included in your career, and plus you will enjoy a period and an amazing experience abroad. The mobility duration. Well, the mobility duration is from 2 months to 12. So again, carefully plan your career, your future in order to fit it into in the best way. Which are the countries allowed? Well, exactly like the Erasmus Plus for study, the countries allowed are all the ones from Europe, so all the EU countries, plus Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, the one you can read here. And we have a couple of extra EU destinations exclusively here in Università di Pavia, which are Palestine and Russia. Sometimes it may be not easy to find a place to take your traineeship. Well, there are a couple of tips that we can give you. So you can find a direct contact through a professor, through a friend that have been there, through someone you know. You can find tips online, but mostly there is the job teaser, which is the platform created by UniPV in order to help and facilitate the finding of a suitable place for you to spend a period of traineeship abroad. As I mentioned before, all the students of first, second, and third cycle can apply, as well as the first and second level master. The important thing is that you have to be enrolled in the moment of application, but the Erasmus Plus for traineeship allow you to do it also after the graduation. As you can read here, train abroad after the graduation, as long as the application is submitted before the thesis defense. This is fundamental. Let's talk about some other details about the traineeship. So when are the calls? As well, well, online application, you know, we are very modern from this point of view, very quick, very easy. Same selection based on exactly the same aspects. So academic results, motivation, and language level. For the traineeship, I guess you can notice that there is a difference in the funding, the scholarship. Well, since the traineeship is supposed to take more time compared to study, the EU has funded a higher amount per month, which is variable from 350 to 400 euros per month, obviously according to the destination. And then UniPV again will top up it according to the financial situation of each student. When to apply? Again, we have two calls. We have two calls, yes, spring call and autumn call. The one in spring, it's February with the selection in April. The one in autumn is October with selection in December. The traineeship is a bit more flexible compared to the study because you can do it basically when you want, if you agree it with the host institution or enterprise and everything. So again, a plus is to carefully organize it in the best way. Let's move to something else. Erasmus explanation, pardon. Let's move to another program that is funded here at Università di Pavia, which is the Coimbra group. Well, it gives you the possibility to spend a period abroad exclusively for study for one semester, or to do research activities for your final thesis. Obviously, there will be a full recognition of all the activities that you undertake abroad. So whether will be exams, whether will be the research for the final thesis, everything will be recognized in terms of ECTS. There is always the learning agreement. So you agree beforehand what you're going to do. And if you succeed, everything will appear in your career when you will be back. Where some of you may know, some of you may don't know about the Coimbra group. It's an organization of several universities, very important university in Europe. And we've made this student exchange program with some of them, such as the Università de Barcelona, Genève, Heidelberg, Jena. So you can travel in some different countries in Europe, and in order to spend one semester there and do exams or research, so produce ECTS. Obviously, the most important thing is to have a look on the call in order to have the complete list, and check the locations for your study course, because each study course has a specific location, so it needs to be dependent by you. Who can go abroad? Students of bachelor degrees and master degrees. Let's move to the financial and when to apply. As you can see, the selection is based on the same aspects, so academic results, motivation, and language level. Here we have a scholarship with which grants 2,100 euros for 5 months, which is one semester, or zero rent. If you want, you can apply, go abroad without getting the scholarship, but having the recognition of all the CTS that you've produced in the host university. Application in March, selections in May. Departure, you can choose whether you can go in the first or in the second semester. So more or less it's like September, October, January, February, but always keep in mind that you have to move according to the dates of beginning of the semesters of the host institution. Let's move to another program, which is the Overseas Exchange Program. As the name says, overseas, it means to go somewhere over the sea, so out of Europe. What is possible to do? Mobility for study for one semester. So you take courses and exams, or final activity for final thesis, or research activity for the final thesis. Also, and here also with the Overseas Exchange Program, we have a full recognition of the ECTS that you have produced. Where to go? Well, all the extra EU universities we have agreements with. So potentially in the USA, in Australia, in Japan, Argentina, Brazil, Jordan, and more. So read carefully the list, the call for application, where you can find the entire list and check which locations, which destination are available for your study course. Who can apply? You can apply all the students of bachelor, master degrees, and the single cycle as well. Again, annual call, online application, but be careful because for the overseas, since it's out of Europe, a specific documentation may be required, such as visa or such as other documents. So please be careful with reading the call where all the details are listed. What we have also here, we have a difference, and because the selection will be based on academic results, on motivation, language level as before, but also we had the interview. So we'll be interviewed in order to check whether you'll be fit for the position and for the scholarship. Here we have a different scholarship amount per month per semester. So we have from 2,000 to 4,500 in relation to the destination, or if you want, you can always go abroad with a zero grant. So all the activities will be recognized in your career, all the CTS will be recognized, but you won't get any scholarship from the economic point of view. When to apply? Well, you can apply in February, do the selection in March, and decide to leave on the first semester or in the second semester. It's your choice, or together with the host institution. There are two other possibilities that Università di Pavia is offering. It's the double degrees and the Erasmus Mundus joint master degrees. I always like to start with the procedure of how to apply, because I want to highlight how easy it is in order to apply to these mobility program exchanges. So double degrees, what we have. The main difference is that the double degrees are not managed by the office, the International Relations Office, mobility office in this case, but by the department. So you have to check the activation of the double degree at the department, at your department here in the university. And read very careful again the call for application and verify to meet all the participation requirements. Then you do fill in the application online and take part through the interviews in case they are expected to be. Erasmus Mundus, same thing. Check the project website, verify that you meet the participation requirements and fill in the application. Let me deepen a bit what are each one of these two possibilities. What is a double degree? Well, double degree is basically that you spend 1 year of study here at Università di Pavia, 1 year at one of the partner university abroad. And at the end of these 2 years, you're going to have a double degree, which is an Italian and a foreign qualification, both recognized in each of the two countries, so in Italy and in the other country. We have several double degrees active and in the related faculties of economics, law, political science, engineering, and humanities. Here you can find some of the countries which are available, but please go check on the department website and learn the full specification of each double degree. Who can apply? Students of first and second cycle. So which are the key points of the Erasmus Mundus? Well, it's quite an old program which has evolved a lot during the time. So it is an international master degree courses organized by at least 3 European universities. So 3 universities collaborating together, working together in order to give a better education to the students who apply to this kind of program. And at the moment here, we have 2 of them active, the GLODEP, which is Joint Master Degree in Global Development Policy, and NanoMed, Joint Master Degree in Nanomedicine for Drug Delivery. Who can apply? Graduated students of first cycle or single cycle. So if you are a bachelor student which is graduated, you can apply to do a master in this with this program. Talking about the application, how to apply? Well, we have two of them, as I mentioned before, GLODEP and NanoMed. Dates are a bit different. So we have 30th of January 2021, 30th of April without scholarship. And then we have NanoMed with the dates you can read. So 15th of January, 15th of April. Again, online application and the selection based on academic results, motivation, language level, and interview. Scholarship. Well, the scholarship is a bit different here because you can get up to 1,000 euros per month for a maximum of 24,000 euros, plus the travel expenses, plus the coverage of the university fees of the host institution. And what kind of mobility is it? Well, it has to involve at least 2 European countries. For example, with GLODEP, we have Czech Republic and France, and to spend an internship research period. For NanoMed project, we have France and Greece spending for an internship or research period again. And then I'm going to talk to you about the new call, the sustainable call that we've introduced this year at Pavia, which is the transit call, Sustainable Travels for UniPV international students. Sustainability is a very important moment and topic for Università di Pavia. So we decided to invest some money to fund the mobility abroad of the students who have been selected to some of the programs that we offer, to reach the destination, the final destination of the mobility through a specific kind of way of transport, which are basically train and coach, which allow sustainable traveling. We want to reduce the environmental impact of the international mobility. So we offer a lump sum reimbursement of 100 euros if you reach your destination through a train or a coach. As you know, the airplane way of transport, so flying to a destination is quite polluting in terms of CO2 emitted in the air. So we decided to keep it sustainable, choosing only train and coach. We are aware that not all the destinations can be reached by train and coach, but at the same time, you'd be surprised to discover that many destinations can be reached by these two ways of transport in more or less the same amount of time, saving money and polluting less. So who can apply? All the selected candidates to carry out a period of international mobility within the following programs. So Erasmus for Study, Credit Mobility for Trainership in Digital Skills, Trainership, and Coimbra Group. We have just started for the first academic year the application. So the first session is already concluded, which was like last summer. Basically, now you can apply for the second period. So if your mobility is going to start from the 1st of January 2022, you can apply in the month of November. The application process is even easier because you just need to fill in a Google form, include all your details, and once you reach the destination, you send us via email the receipt of the way of transport you've used in order to understand that you've used a sustainable way to reach the destination. And we will give you the sum of 100 euros. So we think it's very, very important nowadays to pollute less. Here we have a QR code of our website where you can find all the information I've mentioned. You can get in touch with us, with the responsible person of each program. And please take a picture of it, scan it, and get in touch with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Okay. Thank you, Marco, for this presentation. Let me introduce myself. My name is Michela Cobelli. I'm the head of the International Mobility Unit. We have a second part of this, let's say, blended event for the Erasmus Days. I introduce my colleague Alberto Forte, which is talking about a new program, a new very special program offered by the University of Pavia, which is a European Alliance, European Campus of City Universities, thanks to which all the University of Pavia students will be available to have many mobility opportunities from these academic years to the future. Just for whom is connected online, please take your question about all the programs. You can write on the question and answer box or in the chat box. And at the end of the presentation of Alberto about the C2U, we will start to open the discussion to you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Michela, for this opportunity to present you the opportunities that the project SC2U will offer to all of you in the coming years. SC2U is the acronym of European Campus of City Universities. It is a project, but it's not just a project. It's an European alliance that has been financed by the European Commission last year. And the University of Pavia actually is one of the few European universities that has the opportunity to be part of such an ambitious project like a European alliance. SC2U is actually an alliance that involves 7 European universities, namely the University of Coimbra in Portugal, the University of Iași in Romania, the University of Vienna in Germany, the University of Pavia in Italy, of course, the University of Poitiers in France, the University of Salamanca in Spain, and the University of Turku in Finland. So as you can see from the map, the 7 universities are spread all over Europe, and actually they share similar characteristics, being 7 old universities, all 7 taking part of the Coimbra group of universities, and all 7 universities having a strong relation with their city, so their territory. So they are all based at the heart of the seven cities, and you can experience the similar conditions regarding accommodation and student life in the campuses. The project has been designed to be focused mainly on 3 of the 18 Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations, as you may know. And the 3 SDGs focused are good health and well-being, quality education, and sustainable cities and communities. This means that all the activities that are run within the project are focused on these 3 main areas. The target of the activities are above all for students, of course, but also for PhD students and also for professors. But for professors, we will talk tomorrow. So today we will concentrate our attention on the opportunities for students and PhD students. The main objectives of SC2U in the long run is to drastically increase the number of mobilities within the 7 universities we were mentioning in the slide before, foreseeing physical, virtual, blended mobility. The idea is to, the main activities will be the creation of 3 joint master degrees and the creation of 3 virtual institutes. Okay. The main ambition of SC2U is to offer a different kind of mobilities and also to have an innovative kind of mobilities. These are the main innovative mobility opportunities that will be offered within the project, and actually already started to be offered to you. There will be, first of all, the possibility of attending summer and winter schools within the 3 main areas we were mentioning before. So good health and well-being, that means medical area. Then quality education, that means mainly languages and the humanities. And the sustainable cities and communities, that means basically engineering and architecture. So we are talking about, in this slide, about short mobilities. There will be PhD trainings in the same domains we were mentioning. There will be sport and cultural activities. We will see in the next slides about what does it mean. But basically, the idea is to have short mobilities to attend sport activities, festival, cultural activities in the other cities and universities. There will be the so-called Entrepreneurial Academy. So it is an activity focused on the on fostering the entrepreneurial skills and to improve the employability of students during their study career. And the so-called C2U career certificate plan, that is a plan for fostering the transversal skills and soft skills of students. So giving a digital certification of the soft skills and transversal skills acquired during the study path, the study career. The main, as I was mentioning, the main activity of the C2U is building up 3 joint master degree programs. These 3 joint master degree programs will be active starting from the academic year 2022-2023. So we are working on building and accrediting these 3 new masters in the 3 main domain related to the 3 SDGs we were mentioning. The 3 master course will be called Lifelong Well-being and Healthy Aging, European Languages, Cultures and Societies in Contact, and Sustainable Cities and Communities. In all the 3 masters, of course, there will be compulsory mobility among the 7 universities. It is something similar to what Marco was presenting before with the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degree. But even if these 3 joint masters will start in 2022, so in the next academic year, starting already from this academic year, you will be offered the possibility to have a mobility in these 3 master courses, starting from the 2nd semester of the present academic year. So very soon, by November, we hope, we will launch a call for application for a mobility within these 3 master domains. You can see the name of the masters that will be interested by this mobility. Actually, we have the name only of 2 out of the 3 masters. So students currently taking the master in biotecnologie mediche farmaceutiche, that's a second level master degree, and comunicazione digitale at the Department of Humanities, will have the possibility to have 1 semester mobility in one of the 7 universities, starting already from February 2022. Well, you will receive from the colleagues of the mobility unit the more details in the coming weeks, we hope. I wanted also to talk to you about an upcoming event very soon, in 2 weeks. Actually, in the past weeks, a call for application was opened to select 5 students attending the so-called AC2U forum. This is the first AC2U forum that will be held in presence in the University of Salamanca in Spain. Actually, we already selected 5 students that will attend physically the event in Salamanca, but there will be the possibility for those who could not been selected, because as you may understand, the number of places was very limited, but there will be the possibility to follow it virtually. So during these 3 days in Salamanca, students will experience different kind of activities. Students' activity, sport activities. There will be archery and climbing. I don't think you will be able to do it on virtual mode, so this will be dedicated for those who will have the chance to travel to Salamanca. But there will be also intercultural student events organized by the students of Salamanca, and there will be conferences dedicated to the 3 virtual institutes, again linked to the 3 UN SDGs that are the focus of AC2U. What will be discussed? So how to assess the impact of European universities, how to create an AC2U ecosystem, and the future of higher education. So what do the student need? This is very important because we really need the insights and the perspective and the vision of the students about the future of the European higher education space. So we really need to hear your voice, your suggestions to improve and to offer new and innovative opportunities to all of you. If you want to know more about the project, there's the website. There are those email addresses, and all the social pages, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Alberto. I'll give you an additional information about AC2U. The next AC2U forum will be organized in May in Pavia. So if of course you didn't have the chance to apply to be selected for the Salamanca forum, you will have the possibility to attend the Pavia forum in May and meet other students coming from the 7 universities involved in the project. Yes, do you have a question? I cannot listen you. For attending the C2U forum, in the call for application, we just closed. I repeat the question that a student here in Aula Magna got us. Which are the requirements to apply at and be selected for this C2U forum? Basically, the application is open to all the university students. So all our students have the possibility to apply. There is no department, let's say, that it's open to all the departments. For now, we selected the students that can demonstrate to be involved in a student association, in NGO, basically based maybe in our territory, so in the territory of Pavia, and then sorry, students involved in sport association. with the idea that the C2U forum have to be really open place to listen the voice of active students of our university. So that are the requirements.
Yes, because the idea for C2U is exactly to, strengthen the links between the university and the territory. So being part of, voluntary associations, NGOs, sport association, we think that it is a plus to be part of C2U project and activities.
We keep the question you may have for later, and we will start to open the discussion. Now it's the turn of Gabriella, which is a student that already have a mobility period, an Erasmus mobility period, and she prepared a very effective presentation about her experience in Grenoble, in France. So thank you, Gabriella.
Here we go. So my name is Gabriella. I applied on my first year of, I studied political science and international relations. And I applied on my first year of university to go on Erasmus. And I was selected to go and study in Grenoble. Grenoble is a really extremely charming, quite not that big city. It's cosmopolitan because of all the students that come and are international. It's really culturally vibrant, and it basically is between the and it's basically near the French Alps in the southeast region of France. And it has a really peculiar position between, as I said, the plains and the mountains. From any point of the city, you can see basically you can have a breathtaking view on the mountains and the landscape in general, and you get a really good idea of how beautiful is nature that surrounds the town. And so I went to France and I studied at Sciences Po Grenoble. And the thing about this experience is how you really understand how different the approach, the method of study is, simply because probably in Italy we have a more theoretical approach, and in France it's completely different. It's more practical attitude towards learning, and basically you work more in groups. You have working groups, you have presentations, and just not theoretical knowledge, is more practical, and you really get to leave a different study experience than the one you could possibly think about in Italy. And one funny thing I like to say about Sciences Po Grenoble is that I like to say that it's like a region with a special status, like the Italian regional system, because it has different kind of rules in its own university ecosystem. And basically you have an Assemblée Générale, that's a general assembly of the students, and they practice direct democracy basically, and they can make their own decision for the university. And in French, the culture of strike is really felt, deeply felt. And in this specific university, you have 1 week of exams. That's really different from the approach we have in Italy, that we have 1-2 months of exams, and you have 1 week of exams. And one time I basically went in 2019, 2020, right before COVID stroke. And we were having this session week of all the exams we were supposed to take. And there was also strikes going on in France, and the assembly voted basically to have the right to participate in strikes instead of like taking exams. So we basically ended up not taking exams, taking them online in other days and going to strikes. So here's like a little picture of like a dog doing one of the strikes for that we had that week. And so the approach is really different, and the campus is like amazing. It's basically in the industrial area, and it looks really like an American campus because it has like almost, I think, a kilometer of just space for university students, canteens, and it's really green, and you can see the mountains and do like really whatever you want. And the libraries are huge, and it's not downtown, but you can feel the university vibes around. And it's really an all-encompassing experience. It's not just studying, it's just like getting to know people from all around Europe and all around the world. And I made so many friends. And in the university, Grenoble is also really known for sports, since it has like mountains around. Climbing is really a fun activity to do, or also a mountain biking. And the university offers like a lot of experiences. In fact, many of my friends, usually during the weekends, used to go and have like ski trips, and just with the university, because it's all like they have a convention. So you go to study during the weeks, and the weekends you go skiing or go rock climbing. So it was really a peculiar experience, because you didn't get to experience that here in Pavia, because it's all plains around usually. And you're really never still, even if it's a study experience. With all the convention, with the buses and the trains, you are always moving to another city with the friends you make, and like the first weeks and the friends you make throughout the entire experience. And I went to Lyon more than a couple of times. It's just an hour away from Grenoble, and to Marseille, to Paris, and you could go to Toulouse and Bordeaux. So it's really like, you think you leave to go and study somewhere else, but you leave to live their culture and visit their places and really experience all that you can experience in life there. And so yes, some pictures of places around Grenoble. And the thing is, I hear a lot of people telling me how like they're worried about the languages requirements, or they don't know if they will fit in another country. And the thing is, I always tell everybody to just challenge yourself, because the language it's not a problem. You learn a language, you learn how to fit into basically fit in a crowd and in another country, in another culture. So really I suggest to everybody to leave for like an Erasmus experience as soon as possible, and not just on your third year, because you're scared for the credits and you're scared that you're not gonna like get to the place where you want to go. Because even if Grenoble was not my first choice at the beginning, I think it should have been, because it was a great experience. I had really so much fun. I made friends that I will keep on visiting for the entirety of my life, and I will basically just hold this place in my heart forever. And so that's it. That's my little presentation.
Thank you, Gabriella, for getting to know about your experience. I guess that we will have an unexpectable number of applications to come in Grenoble on the next year. Let's start with the question time. What do you think? Let's do that. Since there is some people here in Aula Magna and some people connected online, we will do that. One question from the students here in presence. Clap your hands if you have a question, and we will answer next to one question arrived in the chat box. So don't be shy. Okay. We will pass you a microphone so the other people will be able to listen your question.
Sorry, you didn't mention anything about the choosing between these programs. How many of them are we allowed to choose between them? Just one of them and that's it for all, for example, 3 years?
During the only rule we have is that you cannot be selected for more than one program taken in the same semester, of course. But basically, you will be able to apply during the year to all the programs. And then, of course, if you've been selected for more than one, you will have to choose the one you want to attend.
Okay, then, for example, we are chosen for the one program, for example, trainership.
Mm-hmm.
So are we allowed to again apply for the Erasmus study the next year or next semester?
Yeah, there is no limitation about that. The only rule we have, of course, is that you cannot do on the same time 2 different programs. So
Yes, I understand. And another question,
yep.
Is it possible?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so some of the professors, they don't know anything about this program, so there's no motivation. They don't motivate us to go for these programs. For example, I'm a PhD student, but my professor maybe doesn't know about these programs to tell me, okay, because we need to ask them if it is possible to go for that or not.
Of course, you can. We forgot to give you a very important information. In each of the department of the University of Pavia, there is an international mobility coordinator, which is a professor that is taking care about the academic activities you want to do abroad. So if you go to our website, internazionale.unipv.it, you will find the list of all the department coordinator. And the first advice I can give you, if the other professor doesn't know about this program, is to refers to the International Mobility Coordinator. The University of Pavia is very engaging to allow you to get all a full recognition of the period of time you spent abroad. If you have any problem about that, you can refer also to the office, of course, but it's very important it's very important you refer to the mobility coordinator of your department. Which department are you?
Engineering.
So you can call with the Professor Berizzi, which is the departmental coordinator of your school.
Okay, thank you.
Let's pass to a question arrived in the chat box.
Yes, first of all, I want to apologize because probably there have been some problems with sliding, not moving. And, so I've just read the chats here. So let's start with the first question. Vamsi asked about which is the first step to do an Erasmus Plus for traineeship in Germany. Well, first of all, you need to read the call. The next one will be out soon. So you have to read the call and read whether you meet all the requirements. I guess you are enrolled. I don't know whether you're enrolled in the bachelor or in the master degree, but have a look at it and try to start identifying what kind of traineeship you want to do. So whether you want to do it at university, in a company, in an NGO, what kind of organization, try to find your goal, destination, and then get in touch with them. As I mentioned before, we have a portal. So you will be allowed to have a look on this portal to find a destination. Another thing I want to add, which I forgot to mention before, all the presentation of today will be uploaded on the website, on our website, the one you can reach with the QR code I showed you before. So you will get all the information condensed in one single presentation, very quick for you to get everything we mentioned before. Let's go with other questions. Here in the room, there are other questions from you. Okay.
Okay.
I'm a second year student in master degree, and I want to know, can I apply for the Erasmus in other country for next semester or for my thesis?
There is some possibilities. First of all, it's going to be published the Erasmus Trainership call for application that can be used to have an internship, as Marco said, but also doing, for example, research for the final dissertation. If you, for example, want to go in a research center, you can combine the internship period with the research for the thesis. And secondly, I don't know, which department are you enrolled? Engineering. Maybe you will be able to apply also to the Erasmus Open application, which will be published by EC2U.
Yes, I mean, we still don't know, I mean, which will be the master study courses of engineering that will be eligible for the mobility, but this information will be known soon. So to go in one of the seven EC2U universities.
Must I apply for that in May? Yes, as I remember. In May, it will be opened for applying.
There is
for next semester or February, for next semester or for my thesis. When should I apply?
For the next semester, you mean the next semester 2022?
Yes.
Okay. The only possibilities you have now is to apply to Trainership, which is publishing in a couple of weeks, and the EC2U. For all the students, I have to say that if you want to go in a mobility period, you have to plan basically to apply 1 year before. So, because of course, we select the students in the year number 1, for example, to start their mobility in the year A+1. So you have to plan 1 year before if you want to have a mobility period. In your case, there is still, I mean, possibilities, but are only that ones.
Okay.
I'm going to answer a couple of questions that have been put in the chat box about the language certification. So, as I mentioned before, when moving abroad for a period of study, the destination, the host institutions may require you to have a specific level of a language. Mostly it's English, but sometimes can be Spanish, German, French, whatever. And in the call for application, where the destination list is included, you can find all the details from this point of view. So which is the level that they require? Usually, I'm saying usually for the first cycle, so it's a bachelor, the level is like B1/B2. And for the master, it's B2. This is the general rule. And I want to say something else, which is that very often some courses are taught in English abroad. So for example, if you are going to spend a period in Poland, don't worry about having to learn Polish. Most of the courses will be taken in English or in both languages. So somehow you will be facilitated from this point of view. Another question is about dormitories. Well, usually all the universities in Europe have housing office, which is helping the students who spend a period abroad to find an accommodation for those months involved. So whether it's a semester or less, or the entire academic year, as well as we have here in Pavia. So probably you got in touch. The international students who've been here to spend a period in Erasmus have got in touch with our office that helped them to find a place. At the same time, the dormitories or housing is available abroad. Usually, most of the universities have a similar service.
There is other question from Aula Magna. Okay.
I'm going forward then with the online questions. There is a student, which is Hannah, that says that she's an international master second year here in Pavia, and she's interested into doing an Erasmus trainership in Switzerland. I understood it has a different application time than EU countries trainership. Is that correct? Yes, it's correct. I need to organize the trainership contract all by myself before applying to the trainership. Is that correct? Yes. Switzerland is not included anymore into the Erasmus program itself. It has a different program, which is somehow overlapping with Erasmus. So you can do an experience abroad of trainership. It's not going to be called Erasmus for trainership. It has their own name. And yes, you have to get in touch with the institution abroad in order to get all the information needed. But at the same time, you need to apply to our call in Unipavia in order to be selected. And once you are selected, you manage to do all the documentation related things with the host university back in Switzerland. Okay, we have a
question from Aula Magna. Please.
Hello, my name is Chan. I'm come from Vietnam, and I have a question about Erasmus study. Because in the condition, it requires agreement from destination place. So how can a student contact with the host destination and seek their requirements, real acceptance in studying? Yeah, this is my questions. Yeah, thank you.
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah. Okay. So in Erasmus study condition, they request assignment of the destination place. So if I a student, how can I contact with the destination to seek their acceptance in program? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to answer to your question. Well, when you fill in the learning agreement, you will need to identify all the exams that you want to take abroad. But at the same time, you need to plan with your UniPV coordinator, international coordinator, which are the activities that you will be allowed to do abroad, and be sure that everything will be recognized. So the very first step is to identify. Well, first you need to be selected, apply and be selected. Once you find the destination, you discover which is your destination of the mobility, you need to get in touch. Well, have a look at the website of the host university in order to understand when the courses are taught and which are the ones that are more interesting to you. And then get in touch with the international coordinator of your department here in Unipavia, in order to talk with this person that will support you in the choice of which are the best courses and exams to take for you, in order to have them recognized back when you come to Pavia at the end of the mobility. Tell me if I answered to your question.
In addition, I have to say that all the places available for your department have been before pre-selected by your institutional coordinator. So we know that the list of the universities open for the mobility, for example, in economics, are more or less similar to the academic program you are attending here in Pavia. So, okay, it's clear. Okay, bye.
Next question from the chat box. I'm going to read from my colleague, which is more skilled with me with Erasmus Mundus. So there is an Erasmus Mundus student can also apply for Erasmus trainership to go abroad.
On the same time, no, because you cannot be awarded on the same time about two European scholarships. So if you are an Erasmus Mundus student, you have already a scholarship paid by the European Union. You can apply to have a period of internship abroad, but without receiving any other kind of scholarship.
So it's basically a no grant experience abroad. Okay. Next question. Next question is from Adita, which is asking, she's already a joint program of Bachelor's Artificial Intelligence. Can I apply for more double degree or exchange program? Well, if you're already in a joint program, you cannot apply to a double degree.
No.
Okay, correct.
No. Just a second,
Okay.
because artificial intelligence is a new bachelor degree that started this year in Pavia. You will be able to apply from the next year to have a period of study abroad. So be prepared for the call for application, which is published on the next February for the next year.
Something I didn't mention, but probably my colleagues have already said, but I want to highlight it again, is this. All the exchange program have the feature that needs to be taken care of in the year before the actual experience abroad. You need to apply in the current year to travel in the next one. This is the basic rule of all the exchange programs. So if you are enrolled in the first year of the bachelor, you need to apply during the first year in order to leave to do the experience abroad during the second one. This is the general rule. So it's a very long-term decision. You need to consider and to plan everything very carefully. This is something that I wanted to highlight. So let's go on with the questions on the chat box. Sorry about Lorena says that, like, sorry about the trainership application you mentioned. The one that will be published in a couple of weeks will be for mobility in which period of the year? Well, basically, once the selection process will be completed and the final ranks published, I think that you will be allowed to leave immediately after that moment. As I mentioned before, the traineeship, the Erasmus for traineeship is quite flexible, and it's not strictly related to the beginning of a semester. It's more about your personal organization together with the host institution organization. So you organize it, and since the final rank will be published, you'll be allowed to leave. Okay, another question from Hannah. Does this 1 year before rule also be in the traineeship? I was planning to do my Erasmus traineeship after my master program in autumn 2022. If I apply on February, April, can I start my traineeship on autumn 2022? Well, yes, definitely. If you apply in February, April, the ranks will be published. The results of the call will be published, and then you will be allowed to do your traineeship after the graduation, after your master program thesis discussion, defense, in autumn 2022. Definitely, yes.
There is other question from Aula Magna. Okay.
Okay, there is a
Deborah.
question.
Okay, my question is related to the Erasmus trainership. I want to know that if anybody interested to apply, so the student has to choose the respected organization for the trainership, or university will help out?
Could you please repeat the final part of the question?
Yeah, my question is that if I'm planning for the trainership, so by myself, I have to choose the organization, or university will provide any specific list for that?
Well,
I
the
do.
trainership is quite flexible. So we have a portal where you can find the destinations, possible destinations, but at the same time, it's more related to your interest in relation to what you study here and what kind of experience, work, trainership experience you want to do abroad. So for example, I'm just imagine if you want to do a specific experience in an organization which is in another country, there is no boundaries for us to tell you, no, you can't go there. But it's up to you to get in touch with this organization, present yourself, saying that you've been selected by this university as an Erasmus traineeship student, and ask them whether they accept you or not. And organize with them, deal with them on the duration, on when to go and when to start. So the traineeship is more, requires more of your interaction with the partner. As I mentioned before, we offer a portal with some kind of a list of destinations. I'm sure that also the professors are ready to help, but at the same time, in case you want to do it in a specific place, you can feel free to get in touch with them once you've been selected to undertake and implement the traineeship abroad.
Okay,
To be selected for the Erasmus traineeship, there is basically only one requirement during the application process, which is to be provided the university about an acceptance letter from the host institution or NGO or enterprise or whatever. So if you think that your dream is to apply to have this kind of mobility period, we can advise all the students to start to contact the companies in order to get this acceptance letter on time to apply for the call for application you want to be selected.
Can I ask one more question?
Yep.
Interested to apply for the coming session. So can I apply, or we have to wait for the next session that would open in the Feb, and we will be allowed for the trainership in April? Or I can apply in the October one?
Well, once you're regularly enrolled at Pavia, so your career is okay, you can apply also now in autumn. But as my colleague mentioned, the important thing is that you have already identified a place where you go. Because in the phase of application, in the moment of application, you need to provide acceptance letter, which is basically the authorization of the host institution, of the host organization, that it says that, okay, I'm available to host this student for this period of time. So you need to attach it to the application. Obviously, if later on the plans changes, so maybe the organization is not available anymore for situations which are out of control, you can postpone it or you can cancel it. But the important thing is that at the moment of application, you provide the acceptance letter. And yes, you can definitely apply in the next one, which is going to be out soon.
That trainership would cover all the expenses related to the traveling and the residence over host organization?
Well, as you can find in the call, the scholarship is has a fixed part, which is 350 or 400 in relation to the destination. You know, in Europe, the cost of life is different in different places, in different countries. So the EU wants to make it proportional to the scholarship. And plus, in relation to your financial situation through the ISE model, there will be a top up from the university. So at the moment, actually, we cannot say how much it's going to be your scholarship. We can say for sure there will be the part funded by the EU, so at least 350 or 400. Then there will be the plus due to your financial situation. The Erasmus Plus for traineeship does not cover the travel expenses. So you mentioned the travel expenses, so no, it's not covered. They are not covered. And you mentioned also for the accommodation.
Yeah.
Well, the accommodation, it's not covered by the scholarship itself, but obviously you can get in touch with the university or with the organization, if it's an organization, or with someone you know in that place, in that city, in order to help you finding an affordable place to stay during your Erasmus Plus traineeship period abroad.
Okay.
There is other question from the chat box.
Yes, let me have a look. Okay, Adita again says, as you mentioned about artificial intelligence, I can apply next year for exchange. Can I apply for traineeship in UK? And will the university help finding traineeship, or I have to apply myself? Well, Adita, you have both ways available for you. As I mentioned, there is a portal managed by the University of Pavia, where you can find all the traineeship offer, but no one stops you from finding yourself a traineeship in a company that you are very interested in. So you can get in touch with them once you get selected and once you apply in the call for application, telling them that you're an Erasmus student and you would like to spend a period of traineeship at the organization. So you have several ways in order to find the destination for your traineeship. What happened, Hannah says, what happens when I organize the traineeship contract with a company institute and then don't get to accept into the traineeship program? Financially, I can't afford to move into another country without the scholarship. Well, as we mentioned, actually, in the phase of application, you need to provide an acceptance letter. This acceptance letter is committing the company, the organization, to accept you for a period of traineeship in their facilities, in their buildings. So you are somehow guaranteed from this point of view. So you provide this, the acceptance letter, you apply, and hopefully you will result to be okay with the scholarship. As I mentioned before, at the same time, in case of problems that are appearing, you can move and you can change the period, always in accordance with the host institutions. Another question. Okay, we have here in the room. So I will post the questions in the chat box for a moment.
Do you know anything about job thesis that we can do our thesis in another country as a job? Okay, is there any opportunity in the university for doing that?
You mean job thesis?
Yes, yes.
Okay, you can apply for the Erasmus Traineeship program if you want to do this kind of project.
I think we should pass amount of number of credits for that. Yes, for example, 80 credits. We should pass it and then we can do it.
You know that I cannot hear you very well. Come here. Sorry, but it's difficult to listen.
I said, I think there is a special amount of credits to pass and then we can do this plan. Yes. I heard that we should, for example, pass clear 80 credits and then apply for this plan.
But you mean the program named Lauree Magistrali Plus, maybe? Master Plus?
No, job thesis that we can do our thesis in other country, in other institution as a job, research.
So what you want to know whether is you need to reach a specific amount of ECTS before you can go abroad and start your research thesis within one of our programs. Well, it's exactly the same rules that you are following here. You can require to do the thesis once you acquire a certain amount of ECTS. So you can definitely apply to one of our Erasmus program calls, but you need to find your thesis professor, the professor who takes care of your thesis here in Unipavia, and make an agreement with him on you going abroad in order to do a research focused on the development of the thesis. So it all has to be agreed with him.
Okay, okay, I got it.
So once you win the scholarship, you can go abroad, spend your time there. You get the scholarship and you produce all the material that will be required and needed to the fulfillment of the thesis.
So we can get a scholarship from university, and then also if the institution as a job, it can pay us.
Well, only it's not like a job, like a real job. It can't be like a
Research, yes.
okay. It can't be like a temporary job on a full-time hour. It can be under the form of internship, a paid internship. Yes, you will get both the scholarship from the Erasmus once you get selected and win, plus if the company offers let's call it like some kind of reimbursement for your traineeship. Yes, it's not a salary, it's like more of a reimbursement. Yes, you can get both.
Thank you.
Another question from Hannah, which says that like she's Finnish, but she studies here in Pavia. Does it matter that I'm not Italian citizen? No, it doesn't matter. You can definitely apply to the Erasmus Plus exchange. No problem. It's the same with the traineeship. So no problem. You can definitely apply at the Erasmus Plus for traineeship. So yes, you understood well. I confirm that. Aman says, how can I find a suitable overseas exchange program as I'm enrolled in artificial intelligence course? Well, you need to have a look at the call for the overseas exchange program and check whether the artificial intelligence course is included. Since it's been just funded, I'm not sure whether it's included yet.
We are working on it
Okay.
to make many places available for the students of artificial intelligence.
Okay. So just a bit of time will be needed for you to do something like this overseas. Thomas is asking, if I want to go outside of the EU for traineeship, how can I obtain the visa for the destination country? Well, first of all, you need to apply to the dedicated call to do a traineeship out of the Europe countries, so an ECM, which is the International Credit Mobility. Once you get selected, once you find the destinations which are available for this call, you will be supported in order to get a visa. But first of all, you need to be selected and you have to accept one of the destinations that we are offering for the International Credit Mobility. The visa part will be just a later step. And for sure, we will help you in order to get it once you are successfully selected for the program, for the exchange. Adita asks another question, which is, how will I attend my classes if I go for traineeship? Is there any specific timing period to apply for traineeship so that I can attend my classes? Well, Adita, as I mentioned before, the traineeship program is extremely flexible. So you need to find the best spot in the entire solar year when it's better for you to do this experience. Some students do it in summer, like in September, October. Some others do in winter, in the winter break. So it all depends on you. And plus, what I would like to add is, like, not in all courses the presence is mandatory. So maybe you can find a solution, talk to the professor, and I'm quite sure that many of them will be ready to help and to facilitate these experiences of yours.
And don't forget, if I may add something, that Erasmus traineeship can be done also after the graduation. We think this is a very good opportunity to start, just after the graduation with the job. Many of our students that spend sometimes for the Erasmus traineeship abroad, then they received an official offer, a job offer from the company where did the internship period. So please do not forget this occasion to be exposed in the world of, in the to have this occasion. There is other question from the Aula Magna. I didn't see her voice. I don't know if you have any question for us. Everything is clear? Okay.
So next question, next questions here. Abir asks another question about the Erasmus Mundus. She says, if someone already finished their Erasmus Mundus joint master degree,
yes,
are they still eligible to do other Erasmus programs?
It's a difficult answer because to be selected for another Erasmus program, you have to be enrolled in a university course. Meantime, if you finish your joint master degree, you will be not anymore enrolled. So my answer in this case is no, you can't. But if you will get in touch with us, we can talk personally with you about your situation, which is no, a little bit strange.
Yes, it's a complicated situation.
Yeah.
So, okay, another question from the room, and then we can continue in the chat box.
Yeah, I have a question related to the language requirement related to the trainership. So which country prefer to have those kind of certifications?
Basically, the university is not going to ask any certification or any exam. The important point is talk with the company that you want to be selected. Maybe the company could organize a little examination, a little interview to understand if you have if you can work with the language they are using in the company. But basically the university is not going to ask any certification about that. It's a relation between you and the host institution on this case.
Like if like in my case, I'm from the non-European Union country. So if I apply for any company that's allow me internship in UK, and for this definitely I will go for the visa process. So in this process, university will help me to get the visa earlier, or it will be totally dependent on the host university.
I understand. Sorry, but it's difficult to me to listen to the question. I understand the question, and the answer is that the University of Pavia is going to provide you, for example, visa letter. You may need to apply to have the visa for UK. So you will receive, an help from us, of course, and also from the host institution, which will guide you to understand which kind of visa you will need to enter in UK. This is, I think, a useful tip also for the people that are online. As you know, UK is not anymore part of the European Union. They are not part officially of the Erasmus Plus program, but the University of Pavia is working to make open all the destinations that usually offer to the students. It's very important to say all the students that want to apply to have a mobility period in UK will have to apply for a kind of visa. So we will guide you about the kind of visa you may require to enter.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
You're welcome. So let's keep going with the questions online. Sophia is asking, during my traineeship abroad, will I have the opportunity to take online exams in Pavia? Well, if your traineeship period is during the exam sessions, I would say yes, you can do it and get them recognized and registered in your career. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. So Daniela is asking, if I wanted to do a traineeship period during the university and subsequently finished my studies, is it possible or it can be done only once? Daniela, I'm sorry, but I didn't get your question.
No.
Maybe you wanted to say that, like, if you're enrolled and you apply for a traineeship period during your enrollment while your career is active, whether you'll be allowed to actually execute the traineeship once you graduate. Please help us understand. We'll be happy to answer.
I think I understood the
Okay,
question.
my colleague understood.
You can do more than one Erasmus traineeship during your career. The only rule you have to follow is that you can be awarded about an Erasmus scholarship for a maximum of 12 months during your career.
So the answer is definitely yes, but like the sum of each mobility taken in the entire cycle needs to be less than 12 months, but usually with traineeship, it's it. Yes, Aber, also for the traineeship, for all kind of Erasmus. Hannah, are there any list of companies who have hosted Erasmus traineeship students previously? In my previous university, they had a list of previous internship. Yes, Hannah, there is the job portal. You can find it online on our website, where there is a list of companies that accept Erasmus Plus traineeship students for a period. And you can have a look at them, at the list, start from there your research. But as I mentioned, nothing stops you from finding new ones. The questions in the chat box have been all answered, I guess, as well as the one here in the room. So thank you for having been with us today. There will be a second session in the afternoon in Italian only. So for those who want to join, feel free to do it. And have a nice day.